I'll never forget, he was a 23-year-old young guy. He stayed under the covers, I think, for the first 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks later, he started emerging out of the sheets. By the end of his stay with us, he was walking around the unit, talked about his music, talked about his bike rides, talked about all his goals, and he really learned through his time with us that one, he was able to get through a hospitalization, having this new diagnosis and get chemotherapy and get all the medications he needed for his symptoms, but at the same time, he got to make friends and he got to know people who really cared.
We need a teen and young adult program because we want to improve the cure rates and make sure that they get the quality of care that they need and ensure that they have the best quality of life long-term as cancer survivors.
I don't think we should stop until every teenager in America is treated appropriately. And we're not big enough, and it's not appropriate that everyone flies here or to the other 3 or 4 places that are now on this bandwagon. So we got to make sure this spreads. It has to become what we would call in our business the standard of care, that it becomes the standard and anything else is substandard care, and then we eliminate it. So if there's an adolescent right now or a young adult in a room, in a double room, and the roommate's in a crib, we're messing up. We got to fix it today.
Sadly, you know, the numbers of young people getting cancer is on the increase. And you know, it makes it even more imperative that we do this thing because we need to specialize in their care and their treatment, and we need to learn more about why they get this cancer, and we need to stop it from happening, and we need to make sure that people out there that are specialists will become specialists in working with these young people and the diseases they get, not just treating them as bigger children or smaller adults. They're young people in their own right.
Challenges for the future are just still trying to make it a national effort. I really think kind of from that grassroots perspective, so patients know to ask, like, I want to go to a program that has a specific program for me.
I think step one is really having the recognition, which is a very big deal, and that only comes really with having a program that is where everybody's really looking for these kinds of complications and these kinds of things. The second part is having a program where you can actually have the resources and ask for help and do something about it.
I mean, not only is it the right thing to do when you just say, oh, doesn't that make sense? I mean, it's hard to argue with that, right? I mean, is it right that you got a sock monkey when you got admitted versus, you know, hey, can we connect with you and what are we thinking about college and what are you going to tell your friends and how much should your mom be involved in the intimate parts of your treatment, etc. It also has better outcomes. I mean, people live more if you do it this way. I mean, how do you argue with that?
I mean, I think that we just need to continue to work together. You know, we're doing our programs at UCLA, but there's a lot of other programs, you know, nationally that are also working on it, and just to be able to, with all of the programs that are focusing on teen and young adult oncology, to continue to communicate together so we can share best practices, because, you know, in reaching any kind of goal, we can't do it alone.
So I think the most important thing is to know you're not alone. Sometimes when you hear bad news, you feel like you're all alone, and you feel like your world's going to end and that there's nothing beyond that. But you have a group of doctors and nurses and friends that you're going to develop that have gone through the same thing and come out the other end and are doing well.
Hang in there, persevere. You're not alone. We're here for you, but know that learning goes both ways. We value hearing your stories. We learn from those stories, and we build our own way of how we can better meet your needs and interact with you at a level that makes having cancer not such a crisis.